When a player's behavior becomes so toxic that teams decide the talent isn't worth the chaos, the league eventually has to draw a line, and the WNBA just did that with Chennedy Carter. After years marked by suspensions, locker room drama, and the now infamous flagrant foul on Caitlin Clark, Carter appears to be officially done in the league, and many fans say it's long overdue. The message feels clear. The WNBA is no longer tolerating the pattern of targeting Clark that's played out over the last 2 seasons. But just when it seemed like the story was over, Carter's latest interview poured gasoline on the fire, with comments about Caitlin that left fans furious. So, what do you think? Did Carter bring this on herself? Or did the league go too far? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
We're going to talk about Chennedy Carter, but it looks like she's blacklisted. And she will be playing professional basketball during the season, but it won't be for the WNBA.
June 1st, 2024 began like any other WNBA matchup, with the Chicago Sky facing the Indiana Fever in front of an electric crowd at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where fans were eager to watch rookie Caitlin Clark continue her sensational debut season. The game was competitive and physical, with both teams trading baskets and Clark putting on a show by threading passes and knocking down shots that kept the arena buzzing. Then came the moment that would come to define Chennedy Carter's legacy in all the wrong ways. During a sequence that was already whistled dead, with the foul clearly called, emotions boiled over. As Clark moved to collect a loose ball after the play had ended, Carter deliberately stepped into her path and delivered a forceful hip check, sending the Fever star crashing to the floor. The contact was sudden, unnecessary, and far beyond normal basketball physicality, leaving Clark no chance to brace herself and instantly igniting outrage among fans, players, and analysts alike.
Seriously, she needs to do whatever she can to get some help, get her anger under control, where she will not have another incident like the one where she slammed into Caitlin Clark, but she's out of the league.
The crowd's reaction said everything about how dirty the play looked in real time. What had been non-stop cheers and normal game noise instantly dropped into stunned silence as thousands of fans watched Caitlin Clark hit the floor hard. The officials first ruled it a common foul, but the replay told a very different story. Carter clearly targeted Clark away from the ball, using her body as a weapon in what should have been a routine transition moment. The force of the hit sent Clark sprawling across the court, and the shock was written all over her face as she slowly picked herself up, a mix of pain and disbelief that only made the moment feel worse.
Despite the solid fourth season from Carter, an incident with Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark stood out to many. The 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year came in the league, became arguably the most popular player. There, I cleaned it up for you, which may have rubbed some people the wrong way, including Carter.
Adding fuel to the fire, cameras caught Angel Reese applauding the hit, a moment that instantly went viral and only intensified the backlash. After the game, the WNBA officiating crew reviewed the footage and upgraded the call to a flagrant 1 foul, confirming what most viewers already believed, that the contact was unnecessary and excessive. The league's decision sent a clear message that this kind of targeting would not be tolerated, especially in a moment where the play was already dead. But while the upgraded foul addressed the incident on paper, the real damage to Chennedy Carter's reputation didn't fully set in until after the final buzzer, when fans, analysts, and players alike began weighing in on what the play truly represented.
So she was signed to the Chicago Sky with Teresa Weatherspoon, with Angel Reese, with Camila Cardoso, and, the rest of the folks. And then we get to the body check. This was originally ruled an away from the ball foul, but it was obviously a flagrant foul. It really upset a lot of people, which really escalated the issue. And it was really just poor sportsmanship on Kennedy's part.
When reporters approached Carter during the post-game media session, the focus was inevitably on the incident that had dominated the conversation all night. That's when things went from bad to worse. Instead of showing accountability or even basic professionalism, Carter brushed off the questions with a dismissive attitude that stunned even seasoned reporters. There was no remorse, no explanation, and no acknowledgement of how dangerous the play had been. That response did more damage than the foul itself, reinforcing the perception that she didn't respect the game, the media, or her fellow players, and for many around the league, that moment is what truly sealed her fate.
And Chennedy, just want to give you an opportunity to talk about that moment between you and Caitlin. What was that play, what was said, and kind of what led to?
Next question.
Yeah, the play with Caitlin, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit.
Yeah.
After
I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
That's enough. We're good. She's good.
Clark's response to those same questions only highlighted why she's become the face of women's basketball. Even after being deliberately targeted, she handled the situation with remarkable class and maturity, traits veteran players openly admire. Clark acknowledged that basketball is a physical game and that emotions can run high in competitive moments, refusing to escalate the controversy or make it personal. Her calm, measured response showed the kind of leadership that separates stars from true franchise players, reinforcing why she commands respect not just for what she does on the court, but for how she carries herself off it as well.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I think it's just just respond, calm down, let your play do the talking. It is what it is. It's a physical game. Go make the free throw and then execute on offense, and I feel like that's kind of what we did, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't know.
The contrast between the two couldn't have been more obvious. On one side was a rookie who had just been cheap shot, yet still chose to take the high road and show respect for her opponent and the game. On the other was a veteran who couldn't bring herself to acknowledge any wrongdoing or show accountability. Watching those back-to-back responses, the basketball world didn't need much time to draw its conclusions. The moment became less about a single fall and more about character, leadership, and who truly represents the future of the league.
There's no doubt Chennedy Carter is extremely talented, but she's got to get her head screwed on straight.
This incident proved to be the breaking point for league officials who had been monitoring Carter's behavior for years. The WNBA has worked hard to establish itself as a professional league built around world-class athletes, and Carter's actions directly threatened that image. The combination of the dirty, unnecessary play and her defiant post-game attitude made it clear she didn't understand, or didn't care about, the standards expected at this level. From that moment on, the patience ran out, and teams around the league began distancing themselves from her almost immediately.
It's one thing pushing Caitlin Clark, and it's another thing blindsiding her. Like, I don't think there's no justification for that. Like, to be honest, we can be honest here.
Carter's attack on Clark wasn't just a single bad decision in the heat of the moment. It was the latest example of a troubling pattern that had followed her throughout her career. Incidents like this had been stacking up for years, quietly eroding trust among coaches, teammates, and executives. The hip check became the final straw, the moment that convinced decision-makers around the league that whatever talent Carter brought to the floor wasn't worth the constant disruption to locker rooms, team chemistry, and the league's image as a whole.
She knocked Caitlin Clark to the floor. We all saw it, a flagrant foul. And many people, including myself, thought it was borderline assault. It was awful.
Carter's basketball talent was never in doubt. She could score from anywhere on the court, averaging 17.5 points per game for the Chicago Sky in her final season, and her quickness and offensive prowess made her a legitimate threat that opposing coaches had to game plan around. But in professional sports, talent alone isn't enough to guarantee a career when behavior becomes a recurring problem. The first major red flag came during her time with the Atlanta Dream in 2021, when the team suspended her for conduct detrimental to the team. According to sources, she created persistent locker room tension and clashed with coaching staff, making her increasingly difficult to manage. The Dream initially tried to harness her competitive fire in a positive way, but those efforts failed as Carter continued to stir drama behind the scenes, signaling that her off-court issues could overshadow even her undeniable skills.
The Atlanta Dream did suspend her in the middle of the sophomore season, basically saying she was a detriment to the team and the team culture. So then the Atlanta Dream decided to trade her to the Sparks, the Los Angeles Sparks.
After her stint in Atlanta, Carter joined the Los Angeles Sparks in 2023, with the team hoping a fresh start and a supportive environment could help her thrive. that hope didn't last long. Her time in Los Angeles lasted only part of a single season before the Sparks had enough, first benching her for ongoing conduct issues, then ultimately waiving her rather than deal with repeated problems. The pattern was becoming painfully obvious to everyone watching. Carter would arrive on a team, showcase her scoring talent, and then create enough drama to wear out her welcome. Her conflicts weren't limited to one coach or system. Every organization that gave her a chance ended up regretting it when her attitude problems began to outweigh her on-court production. Chicago represented what many thought should be Carter's final opportunity to prove she could act like a professional. The Sky, needing scoring, were willing to take a calculated risk on a player with undeniable talent. On the court, Carter delivered, leading the team in scoring and producing some of her best basketball. On paper, her stats looked impressive, and casual fans might have believed she was turning a corner. But behind the scenes, the same old issues persisted. Her interactions with teammates and staff created friction that disrupted team chemistry. The Sky tolerated her behavior only because of her production, but they were quietly preparing their exit strategy. When her contract expired, Chicago made their stance unmistakably clear by refusing to offer her a qualifying contract.
During the 2024 WNBA season, guard Chennedy Carter emerged as a key player for the Chicago Sky, leading the team in scoring with 17.5 points per game, a career high. She would still be probably their best pure offensive weapon if she was still on that team. Now, there's a world where Camila Cardoso, and I've said this, will be their best player this year, provided they allow her to ball, or provided Angel Reese gets the hell out of the way, one of the two.
General managers across the league followed Carter's situation closely, seeing a player with undeniable scoring ability who nonetheless couldn't maintain a stable career due to persistent character issues. Multiple league sources confirmed that executives privately discussed her reputation and reached a unanimous conclusion: Carter simply wasn't worth the trouble. While her talent made her an appealing option on paper, her history of conflicts, suspensions, and locker room drama scared off every potential suitor, leaving her with few opportunities despite her skills.
Fast forward to Friday, Carter, who saw her one-year deal with the Sky come to an end, has yet to sign with a WNBA team. With training camp right around the corner, Carter has elected to join a different league as she awaits another shot at the WNBA. Chennedy Carter has taken her talents to the Mexican, and I'm not even trying to pronounce that, the LMBPF. Long story short, it's in Mexico, and it looks like a women's Mexican basketball league, professional basketball league.
The WNBA was evolving into a more professional and marketable league, with team owners investing heavily in their franchises and expecting players to meet higher standards both on and off the court. Carter's persistent locker room issues represented the old way of doing business, chaos and drama that the league was actively trying to leave behind. Her behavior had become a liability that no organization could afford. The league's stance became unmistakably clear when Carter signed with a team in Mexico to play during the WNBA season, confirming what everyone already suspected: no WNBA franchise would touch her. Her plans to play in China during the off-season only reinforced the image of a player who had burned every bridge in American women's professional basketball.
She's joining a women's basketball league in Mexico. The WNBA thing looks like a wrap for her for now. And in case you're wondering, she averaged 17.5 points a game last year and literally shot 50% from the field for the Chicago Sky. And she's 26 years old. I get it. I mean, she's got to lay in the bed she made.
Carter's exile to international leagues proved a hard truth. In modern professional sports, talent alone has limits without character. 3 separate WNBA teams gave her the chance to succeed, yet with each opportunity, she failed to meet even basic professional standards. No amount of scoring ability could outweigh the drama and dysfunction she brought to every locker room. The league's message was unmistakable. The WNBA had outgrown players who put personal attitudes above team success. Carter's permanent departure opened roster spots for players who understood what professionalism truly meant, while her ongoing international career now stands as a cautionary tale for others about the real consequences of burning bridges with teams and teammates.
Chennedy Carter, she got a new job. Adios, amigos.
Carter recently sat down with Neon for an interview that left basketball fans shaking their heads in disbelief. Rather than owning up to her past mistakes or showing any sign of growth from her experiences, she chose to rewrite history and cast herself as the victim. Her comments laid bare exactly why no WNBA team wants anything to do with her anymore, reinforcing the reputation she spent years building for all the wrong reasons.
Break down that situation that happened.
Yeah. So, in basketball a little bit, there's things called talking what you like to call smack or whatever everybody likes to call it.
Yeah.
Plays before things are said, that's a part of basketball.
Carter attempted to spin the hip check incident as just part of normal, competitive basketball, acting as if every player routinely delivers cheap shots during dead ball situations and that her actions somehow fell within acceptable play. Conveniently, she left out the crucial detail that the officials had upgraded her foul to a flagrant one after reviewing the footage. The league's decision-makers, however, saw exactly what everyone else saw, a deliberate attempt to injure another player, not a moment of routine physicality.
I think a play before, maybe I was elbowed. Okay, that happens. Think the next play down, maybe something was said, and then maybe there was like a little clip of somebody like yelling in my face. And then we go down the court. Then I hit like a little bucket, you feel me? Come down, hit like a little nice little mid-range pull-up. And then I just just give her like a little like, I'm here. Like, I don't think it was, what's crazy? Me and my brother went back and watched, and we seen a lot of clips in the NBA of guys getting like pushing LeBron. Like, I think it was Jeff Teague or somebody who like pushed LeBron out of bounds, like said, man, I was mad because like we couldn't.
Carter tried to cast herself as just another trash talker unfairly singled out for doing what players do every night, attempting to normalize her behavior by framing smack talk and aggressive play as part of the game. But her argument quickly unraveled when you consider her post-game conduct. True competitive players may talk trash on the court, but they show respect afterward. Professional athletes face questions about their actions and take responsibility when they cross the line, something Carter consistently failed to do.
So I'm just like, it's like one of those things, like it happens in basketball. I know people try to say, oh, it's not one of those things.
It's not a personal thing. It's a competitive thing.
It happens in basketball, and like it's just one of those things. But like, yeah, it's kind of what happened. And then it spiraled out of control.
And then the media takes whatever narrative they want to put out.
Watch every single game to see if you can find any deflects in my game, and like, it's really nothing that you probably could say too much about. So then you have trolls, and that's why I said they're gonna be around regardless. But yeah, it was just like a nice little like tap, like I'm here, not to like harm you or anything. If you want to push somebody, you're gonna like full force.
The most revealing part of Carter's revisionist narrative was how completely she ignored her post-game attitude. She acted as if refusing to even acknowledge Clark's name was inconsequential, skipping over the moment that exposed her true character to millions of viewers. Professional athletes know that media obligations come with the job, especially after controversial plays, and her dismissive behavior made it clear she believed the rules simply didn't apply to her.
I mean, that happens, man. Like, it's one of those things. I'm a great player. She's a great player. It looks a certain way. Everybody's going to have their views on it. But my personal view is, I don't have anything against her. She's a great player, and so am I. And I've got buckets all that season. You know what I'm saying? So, just one of those things that, I love it though. They think I hate it. I love it. I love when it gets riled up and juicy like that.
You feed off of like what people say and shit, and it makes you more motivated.
That's what I'm telling you. Oh yeah, I love to hate. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fans online didn't hesitate to call out Carter's attempt to spin the situation. Comment sections across social media quickly filled with posts dissecting the holes in her story, reminding everyone of her long history of locker room drama and clashes with coaching staff. Her repeated pattern of disruptive behavior across multiple organizations made it impossible for anyone to take her victim narrative seriously.
Something's got to wake her up too. Something's got to wake her up and say, Man, I could be in the WNBA right now, starting on a team, being their leading scorer. I've got to get my temper and my head under control. I got to figure it out somehow.
Clark's supporters had a field day highlighting the stark contrast between how their star handled the situation and Carter's approach. They praised Clark's professionalism immediately after being hip-checked, as well as her composed and mature demeanor during post-game interviews. The comparison made Carter look even worse, especially as fans shared side-by-side videos showing both players' reactions to the incident. Basketball enthusiasts then began digging into Carter's history with other teams, pointing out her suspension in Atlanta and early exit from Los Angeles. All of this evidence painted a clear picture. Carter had a consistent pattern of being unable to get along with teammates or coaches, and the Clark incident was simply the latest in a long line of problematic behavior.
And there has not been a peep about anywhere that she could be landing in this free agency. So a lot of people, including myself, are wondering, is she worth the risk now?
Carter's attempt to justify her actions only fueled more frustration over her complete lack of accountability. Fans had hoped that being essentially banned from the league might spark some growth or maturity, but instead, she displayed the same dismissive attitude that had caused her problems from the start. Her interview made it clear that her exile wasn't just about a single bad play. It was a reflection of a deeper, fundamental inability to take responsibility for her actions.
She did. She stopped and went through. Like, that is not... We watched the clip. I need to find the clip. There is no way that we're letting this happen. Like, saying that it was nothing. Like this is not just a tap.
Carter's comments made it crystal clear why general managers across the league made the right call in steering clear of her. Professional sports demand players who can handle adversity, accept coaching, and represent their teams with professionalism, qualities Carter's interview showed she still lacked. The backlash to her neon appearance only reinforced what league officials already knew. Her toxic attitude outweighed any scoring ability she could bring. Her refusal to demonstrate growth or accountability confirmed that her permanent exit from the WNBA was the best decision for everyone involved. The league has chosen its direction, and that path leaves no room for players who create drama instead of building championship cultures.